Alright, I want to move on with my life. And turn this down a little bit more. Alright, so welcome to this YouTube video that I'm making live, apparently. Let's start off. Sorry this is like super impromptu here. Just working on a lot of other different things right now with school starting back up and work essentially starting back up with drift off season starting. I gave this like no time and the date kind of stuck up on me, so makes sense as to why there's like no one here, you know? Alright. This is also going to be a much shorter meeting. I'm taking out a lot of stuff and just covering the basics here. The basics for this event specifically. Starting with, I'm moving away from the Forza forums. I just don't go there enough to watch over things and whatever. And I want to start working on finding something new to host events and stuff through. Most specifically, something like a subreddit, maybe. Subreddit's probably the best way of doing this that I can think of. I don't want to build my own forum again. It was a lot of work. And having to manage all of that and everything was just a pain. So, and I'm not going to do like a Facebook group or something through our page, because I know a lot of people like to keep their Forza profile, or their internet personality and their actual private info kind of separate. So, but yeah, I want to keep, the other reason to not using the Forza forums, I want to keep this down to just the people that are dedicated, like keeping it to the people that have been doing this series this entire time. Much less of the new guys or the guys that show up or say they're going to show up but then don't drive. I just want to keep this down to the people that really matter here, especially with only 2 events left, looking at championship stuff. So from now on, it's going to be, as far as signing up goes, it's going to be just straight up. I'm still going to tech sheets and everything. It's just, if you sign up, message me saying that you want to drive, or if I message you saying, do you want to drive, reply to that. That's how this is all going to be handled, and the rest of it is, it's all stuff that you guys should know already if you've been doing it this whole time. And of course, these meetings, like I said, this one's going to be short. I'm skipping over all of the stupid housekeeping stuff as far as like, how do you run an event kind of stuff, because I think everybody that watches these pretty much has a good fucking grip on how this all works and doesn't need their handheld, or doesn't need the extra time being spent on stuff that they already know. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. Friday is going to be the day 1 of battles. Should we get enough people to need 2 days? I am also giving the event an extra hour. As we saw last time, there was a little bit of confusion of changing the way we were doing things, but we did go well past where I wanted to go. So I had the idea of, we also had a lot of people that couldn't make the 6 o'clock time. So I'm saying it starts 6, we go 6 to 10 Eastern. But realistically, I'd like to do 7 to 10 Eastern. It just depends on how many people we have. If we have, the 40-something people that we had last time, then yes, we're going to need the 6 to 10. But if we get anything less than that, then we'll go 7 to 10. But just be ready to drive between 6 and 10 on Friday. Saturday, more of the same. Same thing we've always done, 3:30. The 8 guys that survived Friday night, I expect you online by at least 3. And if you can't make that, then 3:30. I'd like to see you online at 3, just so I know that you plan on driving. But at the latest, we're gonna start driving at 3:30. So same thing as usual. Both days are gonna be in the rain on this track, of course. We're not gonna split it up into 2 different weather conditions on 2 different days. With night and day at Yas Marina, it was a situation. The difference between the 2 tracks wasn't all that great. There was a difference, wasn't all that great. But if we were to do day and rain or night and rain or something like that, there's so much of a difference that you have to completely change your car setup and everything. You have to completely change the way you're driving, the way you're approaching everything, and if I'm not saying I don't have confidence, but if I had more confidence in how everything's being run, and I would do it that way, do a night in rain or a day in rain. But I think for the sake of simplicity and making sure you guys have, you're not being hit with any curveballs here, just it's going to be rain both days. So as of right now, this is what our bracket is looking like. We do have this is based on, as we started from Yas Marina, we're not going off a point standings as far as your seeding. We're going off your previous event finish. And this is the same way that Sonoma is going to be handled. So basically, if you want to stay in top 16 and only drive on Saturday, you need to make sure you get yourself into top 16 each and every time. Now, this all could change. There are people that have said that they're not making it. They're the only people that aren't being shown. The people that are being shown is a combination of guys that said they can make it and guys that have not said anything. Div 1 and Div 2, unless they specifically say they're not going to be there, you guys are going to be locked in to your spots. And then everything else is really the shit that's really subject to change. But yeah, and then in regards to the schedule, actually, let me go right back up. Just to keep things simple, we're just going to keep doing the Div 6 and Div 5, Div 5, Div 4. Last time we tried to do different strings and stuff, which I thought was, like, in theory, that should work. That should make sense. But the logistics of trying to get everybody on at the time that they needed to be and everything put us behind, along with the fact there's a difficult track and we got a couple one more times and stuff. And, I'm just going to go back to what we've been doing here. So, but yeah, let me get right into, that leaves us with the track right now. Like I said, we're expediting this. This is the actual track map. This will be posted on our Facebook as soon as I get this done. As soon as we get through all of the stuff that we need to get through, which really is just the track here. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you can go ahead right now. Actually, you've probably already seen it, because our YouTube gets even less reach than our Facebook does. So just go to facebook.com/ForzaDMA. This map will be there for you guys to, a more HD version of this map will be there for you to look at. So basically, and I didn't take as many screenshots of this either, because I literally got this map done like half an hour ago or so. So yeah, the 50 roll is going to be till the apex of that first corner. This is on the Sebring short layout, and pretty sure you can get a good idea of where this all is at. The 50 roll will basically end at the apex of that first corner. You know what? I'm gonna pull up Google Maps real quick so you can really see what I'm talking about, because I'm looking at this now and I'm like, man, I probably should have gotten screenshots of all of this. Let's see, Sebring International Raceway. All right. Make sure there's no incriminating evidence on my Google profile here, because I'm a bad man. Let's see. Spin this around so we see it in context here. All right. How does this look on OBS? Oh, nice. Okay. I can work with that. Alright. So this is the area of track that we're looking at here, right? The Sebring short layout, this is turn 1 here. Sebring short layout has you turning around right here. So you'll basically be staging right there. And this is the corner that I'm talking about. 50 roll is going to end right at that that apex right there, which let me go back to the PowerPoint. Yeah, so now you should be able to see exactly what I'm talking about here. That is the corner that I'm talking about there. The right side is going to be the lead lane. Left side is going to be the chase lane. The big thing about this entry, something that we've had people do in the past a lot that has really triggered me on levels I didn't know I could be triggered on. People would hug the left side of this track super hard on their way up into the corner. So they would start on this side and then initiate, so they got out to the outer side of the course, right around here, like halfway through this straightaway. It's kind of like the bitch way to enter into this corner too. We would rather see you stay mid through here, like basically this arrow. We'd rather you stay mid straight down the track and then flick out to the outside and back. And specifically, if I see you hugging this left side as a lead car when you're initiating, literally I'm treating that as a mistake. Like, you're going to get penalized for that. I don't want to see it. A lot of people did it on Forza 4, and it really hit me on another level. Now, difference between this layout and our Forza 4 layout. There was usually, the first outside zone was usually right here. Because we have this puddle here, I can't force you to get out there. I want to see you guys go outside to outside, use all the track that you can, but I don't want to, like, this puddle's a little sketchy. It's not the sketchiest. It's doable. It's going to slow you down a little bit. And it may make things a little weird, but it shouldn't do it a whole lot. But regardless, because of that puddle being there, I'm not going to put a judged outside clip there. But if someone does get out to the outside and you don't, they're going to have an advantage. As a rule of thumb, across this whole track, this is a super simple layout. You know, just run the racing line, use as much of the track as you can, and you'll be fine. There's no weird quirks or gimmicks here. You drift your natural line through this track, you're going to do fine. Also, you'll notice there are no while we're on the subject, there are no red zones for heavy braking whatsoever. This is a normally fast track. You know, there's really the only spot where there's a little bit of slowing is on entry, and even that, you know, you can clutch kick in and not e-brake at all. And in that situation, there'd be no slowing down whatsoever. So there are no slowdown zones anywhere on this track. Not to mention it's raining, so it's slowed down a notch even then. So you absolutely should not be in a situation where you're making heavy slowing. So if there's contact on the track between cars, we are going to be looking at, you know, did the lead car slow down more than he had to, rather intently, because you really shouldn't be slowing down here. But yeah, like I said, racing line, hit the outer here, you know, get to the other edge of the track, you know, boom, boom, apex, apex, outer, boom, apex again. Really, really simple, boys. Now you'll notice this big green area right here. This is a passing zone. If someone is cooking this way too hot and they're like outside on that rumble out there, go for it. Go ahead. If you're the chase car, you see that guy, go out there. Go for the pass. And this is out of protection of you guys, because out here is no man's land. If you, with there being rain, along with that rumble strip being super sketchy, if you don't nail this sector here, you're flying off the edge there. And in other events, we've been like, hey man, just if they're fucking up, just follow that line, and we'll take that into consideration and say, we like any mistake you make is, we'll fault that to the lead car. With this sector here, we'd rather you guys just go for it. We don't want to. We want. How do I say this? We want to minimize the sketchiness, minimize the sketchy calls, the sketchy driving. So if you see this guy's like really cooking it, just boom, take it, take the position, and if you do it cleanly, the other guy will be given a 0 for that run, and you'll have a humongous advantage. So, now inside clip 2, normally we would have it right at the apex of that corner, but as evident here, there's this thing right here, this big puddle right here. In this picture, I'm kind of fish-eyed, so it looks a lot smaller, but it's pretty big. Basically, this is what used to be the clip, is that cone there. The clip is now the outer edge of this puddle. So we're not asking for you guys to drive through the puddle at all. In fact, we want you to go straight up just around it. Because surprisingly, it actually does set you up for the last corner a lot better. And also, puddle avoiding is the priority. Speaking of which, this is what the puddle looks like on the entry. If you're doing it right, you should just be grazing the tail end of it. So it shouldn't be all that bad, which is why I'm saying I'm not going to put an outer zone here like usual, but we'd like to see you get out here. Because if you're doing it right, you should only just barely touch this puddle. But if you get all of this, then, whatever. Moving right along. The outer over here, simple. In FD, they'd call it a touch and go, but touch and go triggers me a lot, so I'm not going to use that. This is an outer zone. Just after you come off this, you make your transition. Just make sure you get the back end of your car touches the left side of the track before you cut in an apex into IC3. The last thing is we usually have an outside zone at the end of the track here. But that rumble strip is straight up underwater. So it's up to you whether or not you want to get all the way out there or not. We expect you to track wide and fill this completely. But it's not going to be... We're not asking for it. Like we're not going to harp on it if you don't get out there, because you're running the risk of that rumble out there. Not to mention, if you get into that, you try to recover, the K-rail on the other side is less than forgiving. So you'll run into problems out there. Let me read through some of the notes I have here. Yeah, filling outer zone 1 is vital. This is really what we're like. The guys that really nailed this track are the guys that can fill this outer zone. If you cut this and just try and hug the right side here, the inside, you're going to get dinged a lot. So we really don't want to see. If you're going to cheat anything, don't cheat outer zone 1. Use the outside edge of the puddle. Talked about that. Fill the entire track. Yeah, run the racing line. This is a pretty straight up layout right here. Oh yeah, tire dropping. Tire dropping is lethal. Absolutely lethal. The rain makes the grass... because of the rain, the grass will suck you right in with no hope of saving. So we're using the same tire drop rule, which I can put up here. this is going to continue. This rule is going to continue. Um, but it's going to be, it's not probably not going to come into question nearly as much because of how nasty the grass is. Probably if you dip a tire, it's going to be a battle ending. Either you're going to spin or you're going to slow down so much the chase car is going to hit you. Or if you're the chase car, you'll slow down so much it'll become inactive chase right there. And yeah, because like I said, it's a slower speed and it's a straight up layout, we do expect tandem to be tight. And what I mean by that is we're going to be a lot harsher on inactive chase and proximity. If you have your car set up right and have a good grip on this track, tandeming should be no problem. So we're really going to be much harsher on proximity, and because there's so much that could go wrong with the rain and the puddles and all this, it's going to be an all or nothing kind of thing. It's either going to be someone's going to screw up in the grass or in a puddle due to the rain, or it's going to come straight down to who's got the better proximity, racing line contingent. So yeah, I think that's all I have on this. So that's all I have basically for the meeting. I cut out all the housekeeping stuff. So for those of you, how many do we have in here? For those 4 of you that are here, if you have any questions for me, we can go ahead and start right now. And the rest of you that are watching this on YouTube will have to message me specifically about it, which I have like 50-something messages, and I promise I'll be going through those like today. I went through a lot of them today and replied to a few, so I will go through those in a second. So these tire drops at Puddle 1 and OC2 are okay. Yes, technically you're still on track. As you remember, this area here, we're going to employ the same thing that we talked about on Forza 4, where you can use all of that tarmac that's out there to make sure that entry is good, as long as you're not like crazy like tapping the wall or whatever out there. So yeah, going off on this side is totally fine to set up that entry better. And what was the other one? OC2? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. As long as you keep it clean, it's the same thing that we were talking about, Gnarshred. As long as you can keep it clean, as long as a tire drop does not cause incident, we have no problem here. Get through the track as cleanly as possible. Yeah, just grass will kill you. Exactly, grass will kill you. And really, the grass is only something you have to worry about on OZ1. And then it becomes tarmac again. So, actually, on the last corner too, right there at the. You shouldn't be going past the rumble. Then you'd really have a problem. But there's grass out there too. So. So Yoshi, if you have nothing else, I can go ahead and stop. Who else? Let's see. Is wanted spying? Like I know. No, he's not. And like I said, this is out of the 3 tracks that are on our back 9. This is probably the simplest. The thing that makes this difficult is the weather. But just run the natural line. Make sure you fill the entire track, and we're gonna have no problem on Friday and Saturday. And then the Sonoma will be a little bit of a different story. Sonoma is gonna be ridiculous. And with the way that Forza 6 works, and with the way that everybody in our series here has been driving, where Sonoma used to be the car killer, the season ender, like the one where it was either a perfect tandem or a crash. I think this year we're gonna have more perfect tandems than crashes, which will be great. I don't know about Friday night, but Saturday we'll have some good shit go down. So yeah, that I know that about the bump you're talking about. On back when we were called something different, when Forza 6 first came out, we had to account for that bump, and we put an outer zone actually like out here, and said forget the inside clip there, and people were able to avoid the bump, but it was so unnatural. I think about half, like it split the field like 50-50. 50 were okay with it. 50 were like, dude, this is not cool. So we're gonna keep it like I think the puddle helps. Like you're having to go around the puddle helps, but you're still gonna have to deal with that imperfection in the tarmac. So. Alrighty, if y'all don't have any more questions, I'll go ahead and end this. That map is going to be up on our Facebook again, facebook.com/ForzaDMA. And if you have any more questions concerning the track, the schedule, whatever, go ahead and message me on Xbox, and I'll get to that as soon as possible. Tomorrow, I'll be going through all of the messages and everything and double checking with everybody that should be driving, and the drivers that I haven't heard from, I'll be basically making the decision at that point by at least Monday night regarding either say that you're driving or I'm taking you off the list, and we'll get the bracket situated. And then, and then Thursday we'll be getting everything set up, and Friday will be game day part 1. So, and then we have Sonoma. The Sonoma drivers meeting is going to be interesting, because I'm going to have a lot of extraneous things to talk about, other things, off-season things, next season things. I think we have a track schedule figured out. I think I have the 6 tracks that we'll be doing for the spring 2017 season. It's just a matter of nailing it down and making sure we know what we're doing. 4 out of 6 of them are brand new. We're using one track from this year and one that we always do, which, I think everybody can kind of assume what that one is. But then we have 4 brand new tracks that we're going to try out. That I think it's a pretty good schedule, pretty good assortment of stuff that isn't done normally, and I don't think is being done whatsoever on Forza 6. So enough for me. If there were more of you, I would host a practice lobby, but seeing as though it's only a couple, I'm going to hop onto NHL, seeing as though it just came out and it's still new, and we got to grind to get us that brand new stadium. You know what I'm saying? So, to those of you that actually came out, thank you for doing so, and I hope to see you guys this weekend.